So I am a musician, and obviously, like anyone entering the art space or the music space, I had huge dreams, still do. I had huge dreams of what I wanted to do, what I wanted to be, and I think, again, just coupled with the poor teaching I had had about Christianity, I thought that it was owed to me that because I'm a Christian, because I'm this good person, because I've given my life to the Lord, He's gonna bless me with all these things, you know. And yeah, it was just a convoluted mess of how I viewed myself and just a sense of entitlement. But I remember probably about 5, 6, 7 years into it, things hadn't taken off as well as I'd hoped they would. So yes, I was performing, yes, I was gigging, I had a bit of a name out there, but it wasn't at the level I thought it would be, like in terms of how big my dreams actually were. And I fell into what might have been a severe depression, probably for about a year and a half. And it took me a while to realize what it was. And at a certain point, I realized I was so frustrated because I felt like I had given everything to this career, everything to this dream, everything to this idea of what I was supposed to become, and it wasn't happening. And God, why is it not happening? I remember friends of mine were getting married, and obviously it's a wedding. You don't receive the invitation 2 days before. So I knew for months that this was the date of the wedding. However, on the day of the wedding, I had gotten a gig, an opportunity to perform. I think that gig came through probably the week before, and it wasn't even a second thought. I left that wedding, I think, just after they did the vows. I didn't stay for the celebrations, and it didn't even affect me. For me, it was, there's an audience, I have to perform, I have to be seen, this has to happen. I mean, I would not show up to birthday parties, to like important events in people's lives whom I loved. My family, I wouldn't see them even though they lived less than 30 kilometers from my house. And I realized as I was in this sort of darkness that, my goodness, I began to idolize my career. Like, I began to idolize this dream of mine to become this, amazing music sensation. That this gift that God had given me, instead of me using it to serve, I was serving it, even in place of God. It was hard to realize and accept that I was actually idolizing my career. It was hard to accept that I was in the wrong, because for so long I had seen God as someone who had betrayed me because He didn't make this thing happen. I realized that it was just an area of sin in my life that the Lord needed to deal with. And that's probably why things hadn't gone the way I had dreamed that they would. So obviously we all have dreams, we have goals, we have ambitions, and we all have a vision for what we want our lives to be. You fill in the blank of what that is. But I think the one thing I would encourage anyone out there sitting with that is to just remember that our dreams are not God. And at the end of the day, I think if our hearts are really wanting to glorify God, wanting His desires to become our desires, then it does become okay when the things that we thought we wanted, we realize we don't want anymore, or we don't actually get them. We find fulfillment in Him at the end of the day. And that's ultimately what the message is, finding our identity in Christ and not in the things of this world. So in as much as it's hard, it would just be to just take those to Him and trust in Him with where our lives are going.